Right. So,
Oh.
recording now. Nobody say anything bad.
Exactly. Now we are serious. We are working hard.
Yes. Yes. All right. So, we're on the PowerPoint. That's good. So today we'll be talking about techniques for managing lessons and evaluating classroom management techniques. So the first one, we're going to have a poll. So I can't remember how this went last time. Sometimes people can see them, sometimes they can't.
Oh.
So can you guys both see the poll?
Yes.
Yes.
Marvelous. All right then. So what is your favorite routine?
Can we choose more than one?
I don't think you can, but you could try.
No, it's just one.
Okay.
I was just one.
Oh, can't decide.
Yes, it's difficult.
Yeah.
I do most of the things. The only thing that I don't do is leave. Leave time at the end of the class. Yes. No, I thought it was like staying after the class.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
well, I use names all the times, and I use nicknames if they like.
All right. Yeah.
Because it's like making more, more friendly. I would say get students to move around. I think one of the posts said that my classes are not silent.
Right.
I love them to be moving around, chatting, and sometimes if you see the classroom from the outside, can be quite noisy, but they are doing what they are supposed to do. So I like that. Otherwise, like I get bored, and it is like an exam situation. Yes, in exams, yes, they are quiet, they don't speak, don't move. But I like getting students to move around.
So can you click on that one? Is it working? Is the poll?
Yes, and sent.
And then there you go.
Did it work?
Yeah, I think I'm going to use the name answer.
Right.
Yeah, because I don't do everything with the others. Depending on the groups, I do one thing or the other, but the names I use them with all of them. So I choose that one.
Yes, you have a very long variety of ages.
Yes,
you have from kinder kids till teenagers. That is quite a challenge.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, 50-50.
50-50, yeah. Okay. And are there any that you don't do? Do you?
Well, I don't usually send homework.
Of course, yeah.
Maybe it's like writing for the teams, but if we can do it in class, I don't send homework.
Right.
So I wouldn't leave time for that at the end of the class. Well, maybe for questions, but not for homework questions.
Right. And so you don't check it at the beginning of class either. So
well, if we have something from the other class that we didn't check, yes. But as I don't usually send them homework, we normally start chatting about their day and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, chatting is a nice warming up activity. They are forced to use English in a situation that is not in the course book. Yes, they are not talking about giving directions or getting up early in the morning, brushing the teeth. So it's nice.
Right.
They start looking up for new words to express.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not very good at chatting at the start of class. If I have lots of students, I just sort of walk in and get stuff ready. And it's only
Well,
get started, and then I sort of relax and I'll smile and say hello, but I'm not very good at just like starting conversation.
well, that depends also in the size of the class.
Yeah.
Yes. If you have a class with 6 students, you can chat, you can relax. If you have, for example, me at the public school, I have an average of 20 students and only 40 minutes a day. So I cannot chat there. That is,
Not really.
no, because otherwise all the class is chatting.
Yeah.
No, that's true. Yes. So maybe chat to learners at the start of the class would be one that I don't usually do at a public school.
Yeah, it must make a big difference. Like, how big the group is. If you're in a high school in Thailand and you have 40 students, then
Yeah, it's quite important. 40 students, and I complain having 20.
yeah.
No, but I imagine that they are quiet.
Actually,
How are students there?
It depends a lot. But that was my first experience when I came here as a volunteer. I walked into a classroom and there were 40 students, and they all stood up and said, "Good morning, teacher. How are you today?" And I was, "I'm fine, thank you." And you? And they, "Fine, thank you." And they all sit down. And sometimes they're not very well behaved, so you had to you had to be on your toes.
Wow. Yeah, because dealing with 40 students, it's a lot, and only one person for 40. I can't imagine that.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yes.
But they found me quite exciting because I was 18 and I was a white guy, and it was a long time ago, so they found that quite exciting. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you were a foreigner too, so that also has an extra thing.
Yeah. If they wanted to talk to me, they had to use English. And,
Yes.
okay. So, techniques for getting attention. So, we should try and write on here. So, do you remember the annotate button? Can you see?
All right.
Yes.
Okay. So if you click on annotate and then the T for text, then you
Right.
type on here.
Oops.
So what techniques do you use for getting attention?
When they are too noisy, I start lowering the level of my voice. Okay, so please open the books. What? Open the books. My throat hurts and I cannot shout. Yes, so they start saying, cállense. So I start lowering my voice. Would you say like that?
Getting quiet or lowering your voice, yeah?
No.
Oh my god. If they are being too noisy, I tend to do like this. And the first 3 students that do like this, they get like a prize or something.
Oh, so what do you do? What do you do when they have to? You.
No, I do like this.
Ah, okay, right.
And then they start watching me and they say, "Oh, we have to do like this."
Right. Copy the teacher.
Well,
So yeah.
A music teacher, a music colleague taught me that doing this sound with the hand means silence.
Oh.
And they were quite trained with him to do that. So when they were very noisy with one class, I said like this, and they start automatically to be quiet. It was fantastic.
So was this like a conductor?
Exactly, something like that. So it's like that and meant silence. So like an orchestra, exactly.
Just like the picture. Okay.
Yes.
That's funny. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so I copied him. Yes, that technique.
Okay, there. I can't.
I wouldn't do that of turning the lights off and on.
Really?
Because I would say that make them noisier. Sometimes in winter we go to school at night. It's dark, and sometimes there are blackouts. These, instead of being quieter, they start shouting and they get desperate. So maybe I will have to try with just one click. Yes, but
yes, yeah.
I will try this year. But maybe it's I will try that. That caught my attention. Yeah, something like that. Maybe I will do it.
I never got into it. But, what was it? Oh yeah.
It doesn't work for me either. So.
You tried it.
Yes, but they became crazy. So.
It's like they are really scared to darkness, so they start shouting. And I remember once with 9-year-old students, one girl started crying because it was everything dark. I said, no. It was
Not
really
mine.
funny now.
Mine don't get scared. Mine starts, video, we have a video. Or I don't know what. Because turning off the lights is like,
means they have another, they're related to another thing.
Right.
Yes.
Video time.
Yes, so it doesn't work very well for me.
No. And do you ever knock on the board or on the table? Or?
On the table, sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it depends on the groups. Once I tried, and it seems that their teacher always did that. And she was quite crazy, so it didn't work. The time that I tried, it didn't work. Like, no, you're crazy too. But no,
Right. So that's. Oh yeah. And the only other one I had one friend who had like a streamer like from Christmas.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So it would just make a funny noise, and the students all liked it, so they'd all stop and be quiet.
PE teachers use
whistle.
the whistle, and they also get the attention with whistles.
Yeah, I think my friend didn't want something quite that loud and sort of with those associations.
Aggressive.
Yeah, they wanted something more fun and like different.
Yeah.
And I had another friend, instead of going like this, they would do different things. So like sometimes they would put their hands on their head or like hold their ears. And then everybody had to do the same thing, stop talking and do the same thing as the teacher.
But
that probably depends how old your students are as well.
Yeah. Yeah, but sometimes when for example with teenagers, they like doing that a bit.
Yeah.
Because that reminds them that they are also kids, that they are little ones.
Yeah.
It's not always, but sometimes it's funny.
Yeah.
I don't know, you work with teenagers, and
well, they are old teenagers already, so they don't feel like doing this
those things
kind of gestures. or they think they are old enough.
Yeah.
Okay, they are another level.
Yeah. Sometimes the teenagers take themselves a bit more seriously than the adults. And the adults don't mind talking about, but yeah. Right.
Yes.
Yes. So we're going to look at a few classroom situations. So there's only 2 of you, so no breakout rooms. So we're going to look at the different situations, think what would you do, and any challenges you might have.
Challenges?
Yeah, anything, any difficult things. Oh no, but with each situation. So.
I have one classroom that, what classroom? No, but one group in which I have several kids with special needs. What? How do you say in English? PDA? PDA? No, I don't remember now the name in English. How do you say? I'm looking for it. I look for it. Wait a second. Did you say hyperactivity?
The hyperactive.
Oh.
Yeah. So I have 2 kids with that, and I have another one with dyslexia in that class. And sometimes it's really hard to get their attention and make them work and things like that. So I have to be next to them, telling them, now you do this, now you have to do that, things like that. I try to sit them not together, but next to each other to control more or less.
Oh, right. So that you keep them in one area of the room and
Yes, because I can't be walking around all the time because I have to be with the 3 of them. So.
Right. And because when you're not talking to them, they worry that you've forgotten about them and.
One of them just. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we're just doing a course at the moment on special educational needs. We had the unit on ADHD and dyslexia. I haven't started yet, so that will be next. But yeah, it's very difficult. And do you have any experts at the school to help with things like that?
Well, I work for a private academy, so we don't have those kind of professionals, let's say.
So you have to train yourself.
Yeah, I have to learn in the class, Well, but it's okay. I found it interesting. So.
Yes. One question: Did the parents tell you about that situation, or you learned about that during the classes?
No, I noticed that they were not improving very well, let's say. So I was talking to the receptionist once about this, and she told me, but this student has this and this student has that, and I was like, oh wait, didn't the parents come and
thank you for letting me know.
Because no, really, the one with dyslexia had lots of problems with. I sent a little writing for them about what did they like or something like that. And I was reading it and I was like, I can't understand. And then she told me that he has dyslexia, and I was like, you can't send your kid to a class and not telling the teacher that he has dyslexia. I can't understand that.
That's terrible.
Oh well. Yes. I noticed he had an improvement now because first he was scared of participating, but now he wants to participate all the time. So.
Excellent. Good work.
Yeah. The problem is that when you don't know those things, you cannot adapt the class.
Yeah, that's the
problem. Know that, yes you can, as you did, you did do things, so make them feel comfortable.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite thing from the course for kids with ADHD was to give them a stopwatch, so that if you tell them the activity will take like 5 minutes or 2 minutes, then they can look at the stopwatch, so they know that it hasn't finished yet. So they're not like, "Oh, we finished it." No, look at your watch.
No, I have to.
I thought that was a nice idea. I'd like to see.
It's nice.
Okay, so now if we look at the situations for this one, if your learners take longer than expected to finish their work in class, what can you do?
Assign that for homework.
Right? Yeah. Definitely work.
I don't like giving them homework, so maybe I try to do it together instead of sending it as homework. Yeah, I sometimes do that, so I think it works.
Well, if I come to think, I would have maybe set it for homework, but knowing that the following lesson we have to do that because maybe they wouldn't do the homework. So, yes.
And if it's happening like more than once, what would you do in general to sort of
more than once?
Maybe
more than once in the same lesson?
Oh no! In general, like if you have a class, in general, it takes them longer to do the work than you were expecting.
Maybe I should rearrange the timing or something.
Maybe, yeah.
Yes, making it shorter. Yes, cutting the same activity into small pieces. So, maybe said this is the most important thing. I want them to do this, and then if I have extra time, I will do something more.
Right.
Yes, cutting into little pieces.
So maybe it's too difficult if you cut it up and make sure that each bit is going okay. Yeah. Anything else?
Well, what I usually do is while I'm planning the lesson, my lessons are like 60 minutes. So I plan only 50 minutes. And then I have that little time there if I need to do something. If I have time, then I put the game or something. But
yeah, one of my friends said, it was a teacher trainer, he said at the beginning often you need to prepare loads of things because you're scared that you'll run out of things in the class. And then once you get a bit more used to things, you can prepare a bit less and you have a little bit of time to sort of do things. Yeah.
Yes, to have fun or to do something, maybe a game or an activity that you know they enjoy doing.
And I guess also with timings for activities, so if you make sure you're clear about how much time they're going to get for an activity, remind them about the deadline while they're working. And if you go around and see how everybody's doing, so if you monitor closely, you can see if they're behind, then maybe you can change something as they're going along.
Yeah, well, I have at public school multi-level classes.
Right.
So that happens with those students that don't have any level of English. So what I do is trying to sit the nose that knows with one that doesn't. So in that way, I try to control this thing of the one that doesn't know is not flying away and the other is not getting bored. So the one that has certain level, their job is to be like a teacher for the other. Yes. Some pairs work, some don't, and I have to change them. But I could try that a couple of students could make an improvement with that thing of pairing students, one that knows and one that doesn't know.
Right.
And in that way, the one that knows colors is not that bored because he's teaching. Yes, the other.
Yeah.
She feels like a bit more important.
So they
Yeah.
they don't mind. They're okay with that. They don't mind doing the teaching. And
No. They like that, especially girls.
right.
Yes. Boys are a bit more reluctant to do that, but girls love being the teachers and being asked for everything.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. And of course,
in the class.
no, please.
Thank you. In the class I was telling you before, I have a fast finisher that is a girl. And when she finishes, I ask her to help the others, and she loves that.
You know, they love being that. I'm the teacher assistant. They help.
Yeah.
And it is very good for them. Like teaching to someone else, it means that you really remember it and you understand it. So cool. All right then. Situation 2. Your learners complain that the coursebook activities are too repetitive and boring. So
Bring extra activities. I use the course book as a guideline for the grammar topics. Then for me, language is to be able to communicate with others. So I look up different activities on the search on the internet, and I try to bring more communicative activities, or I bring something, a game. Yes, that happens a lot with adults, that they know how the course book works. So every now and then I bring something new. So it's like they're shaped. It's like, okay, I like this. I like the game. I like the other.
cool.
Right. I don't know what to say.
So your academy, is it mainly for people who want to practice like speaking and listening?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, because here at school we don't practice the speaking. Well, it's not that we don't practice, but not enough,
Right.
So yeah, the parents send their kids to the academy for that. But well, we do everything. We do grammar, we do vocabulary, we do speaking, reading, we do everything. Because you can't be speaking the whole hour for the whole year. So, well, you
For
can,
the sake
but
of speaking.
imagine with the teens, maybe you can, but with the little ones, that they can't express themselves.
Right. Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do a lot of speaking with the teens, but with the others, I tried more listening.
Do they always use English, or they turn into L1?
They change to the L1, yes. Yeah.
Yes, I remember when I taught teens, I said like, I stand up in a way, I don't know how, I said, English, and the student would correct themselves, said, no, porque estábamos viendo English, yes, we were doing this, and we were talking in English, teacher, yes, so, but it was just with a body gesture that I did, it's like, no, English, because they left speaking in their L1.
Yeah, it's difficult to remember sometimes. In Taiwan, we used to have forfeits. So if they spoke Chinese, they would have to throw a dice, and then they would have to do something, one of the 6 things. So they would have to sing a song in English, or do a little dance, or something like that. And in Thailand, my adult students didn't like it. And the little kids didn't like it. The only ones who liked it were teenagers. And so they loved it. And they would say, oh, no, teacher, you spoke Thai. And so they would throw the dice, and then they would have to do a little dance. It worked really well. And then so sometimes I would speak Thai, and then I would have to throw the dice and do something.
And do the same.
Yeah. And it was fun because I would talk to their parents like at the end of term, and their parents would be like, "Does he speak in class?" And I'd say, "Yes." "Does he speak English?" And they said, "Oh, we have to speak English. If we don't speak English, then we have to throw the dice."
I don't know. No, it's great. It's a really good technique.
It was fun as long as like everybody agrees that it's fun and that it's not a serious kind of thing, then it works quite well. And we all agreed what the 6 things were, so it was like right. Oh yeah, and adapting. Do you guys adapt the activities in the course book much?
Oh, yes.
Right.
Maybe not that much at the private institute because they are all the same level. But at school, yes, I have the the most simple activity, and then I try to make something a bit more difficult, sometimes even easier. Yes, and yes, I have to adapt. I have to be very creative in a way to try to make everything work within the class.
And then, do you do like the same activity but with different handouts for different levels?
No.
Okay.
Once I tried,
Right.
but there are so many students that it was impossible. So I have like an extra book with questions for those that are really, they have really high level. And then this thing of peer teaching their partners.
Right.
So once I tried, but it was impossible. Yeah, there are so many levels. So I have 1 or 2 readers and some comprehensive questions. So if they feel like, they can go to the book and read and answer and practice maybe present simple or past simple. Because they love saying that at the institute that we are learning irregular verbs. Okay, great. So you have that story where you have more to practice if you want. But no, I didn't do that.
Okay. Because I remember that was something that I read about, like doing a dictation. So you give your high-level students, you give them a blank piece of paper and they write down everything. And the medium students, you give them a text with the gaps and they fill in the gaps. And then the low-level students have the gaps and multiple choice. And so they have to listen and choose the word. But sorry.
I adapt exams. Exams, yes. I have 2 different kind of exams. One that is really easy with matching activities, and the other that they have to complete. And then in the oral, yes, maybe I just ask for vocabulary, and the other I make complete questions and I make them give complete answers. So in exams, yes, but not during all the classes. That is nice. And it's not that complicated. You don't have to do 1 per student. You have 3 levels, and I'm going to write it down.
And Anne, what about you? Do you adapt from the course book much? Or?
Sometimes I do, because I have one class that the course book is a little bit strange. I don't know how to explain it, but some of the exercises are too difficult for them. So, for example, we had like a text, and it had gaps to fill in, but they didn't know those words. So what I did is writing all the words in the whiteboard.
Yeah.
And they had to pick the correct one for each gap. That's what I try to do, because if they don't know the word, they can't do the exercise.
Yeah.
I couldn't understand why they had that exercise,
right.
Because those words weren't in the lesson. I mean, in the unit. So
yeah.
It was more activity, more difficult.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know.
And do you ever adapt things from the book to make them more communicative, or to like have more speaking and listening or stuff like that?
I had one exercise once that was writing about their favorite book, but I changed it into speaking.
Yeah, that sounds good. Cool.
Yeah, because I think it's faster and they had more fun with that than writing. So
Yeah.
they can practice with that too. And they had a little example in the book, so they knew how to do it more or less.
Right. So they were able to use that and then adapt it for their.
Yeah, more or less.
So, number 3, your learners are working in pairs or groups and they aren't sure what they need to do. So, what can you do?
Paraphrase the instructions.
Yes.
I use a lot of mind. Yes, you have to listen, copy, read.
So you'd stop the activity and then get them all to watch you and then you'd go over it again, or?
Yes. Once I tried to maybe explaining the little groups, but it was too noisy and too complicated. So I said, okay, stop, and maybe there are always translators in the classroom. So I explain, I make all the gestures, and if they don't say, no, tenés que hacer tal esto y tal otra cosa. Yes, they use their L1, and then they can start working.
That happens to me too. Yeah.
So you use some miming,
Yes.
going slowly. Anything else?
Maybe I do the first item, let's say, as an example for them to see how to do it.
Right. And there we go. So so how would you do? Okay, so this would be modeling.
Yes.
Modeling?
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
You
Oh,
show,
right. Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
So
what
you
you
would
do.
do it with one of the students, or you would get 2 of the students to do it with each other.
Well, usually before starting the activity, I call one of the most advanced students and I model the activity, especially those that are speaking. It says, okay, you have to make a short conversation, yes? Hello, what's your name? My name is blah, blah, blah. So they they copy then. Okay, you have this now, you have to do the same. Repeat. And they know the word repeat. So
Yeah, and so it's much easier to see somebody doing it than to hear somebody describing it.
yes, that's true.
And CCQs. Have you guys heard of CCQs?
Something of questions? That is concept checking questions? No.
Yes.
Yes.
So with that, okay, now I want everybody to work in groups of 3 and don't show each other your bits of paper, and you're going to have to ask 5 questions, and then we're going to do this later on. So, how many groups are you in? How many people in your group? Do you show each other the bits of paper? How many questions are you going to ask? Things like that. So instead of just telling them that you ask questions and they have to answer you, so then you know if they understand or not. Stuff like that, so that can be very effective. Right. Mixed ability groups. So they get restless and disruptive and talk to their classmates while other learners are still trying to finish the task. So I think we've talked about this a fair bit. You have other activities that you give them. You pair them together with stronger and weaker learners. Yeah. And you group your ADHD students together so that you can like take care of them in one lot. So yeah, I think we've covered this one pretty well.
Yes.
Okay. So now we have another poll. Staging. Right, so this one, the question is, which of these staging techniques do you feel confident about using in your lesson?
I do the third one a lot with the teams.
Yeah,
Mm,
that makes sense.
yeah. And yesterday we did brainstorming because we were starting a new unit, and it was like it was about free time. What do you do in your free time? And I asked the kids for different activities that they do. So I started writing them in the whiteboard, and we had a lot at the end of, of the activity. So I find it useful, at least for them, because they can see it quite well. So
Yes, I would say also brainstorming.
Right.
yeah,
Because while you're brainstorming, you are also giving them a list of things or words that they can use or activities that they can do. So I would say brainstorming.
Okay. So are you guys voting for brainstorming then?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Ah, there you go.
This is 100%.
Brainstorming. It's all about brainstorming. Okay. So when you do the brainstorming, how do you do it? Do you do it individually or in pairs, groups, or as a whole class? Or?
Most of the times, like a whole class. So maybe you have students that maybe didn't think of that, or maybe are too shy to say what they think or what they believe, and listen to another one that says, okay, so this is the word, or this exists. It's nice. So like a whole class would be most of the times.
And do you think there'd be any advantages to doing it individually and in pairs as well?
I think I never tried individually or in pairs.
I do it. Oh, sorry.
No, because I cannot think of how. So
no, what I do is I give each student a little piece of paper, then they can write individually what they think or whatever, and I leave them 2 minutes working, and then I ask, what do you have? And then I start writing. Like the proper brainstorming is the second part of the activity, let's say.
That's a very nice.
Because in like other contexts outside teaching, they found that if people brainstorm individually first, you get more ideas. So if people talk to each other straight away, the shyer people just like don't give their ideas. If they've written them down already, if they've thought about it, then the ideas come out and you get a wider range of things. Especially if they do it individually first and then in pairs and then whole class, then they feel more confident. So if their partner said, oh yeah, that's a good one, you should say your one, then you get a wider range.
Yes.
So that can be quite good.
Well, you know what happens, that even if I tell them to do it individually, as they are two in the same table,
Yeah,
with each other. So
yes, they see the other's idea.
Yes, yeah. There's
That happens everywhere.
we always say it's a good idea to talk to your partner, but it's difficult to stop them. Really. Okay. Right. So that was the learning outcomes for the session. Now. Now, before we go, there's something else that I want to show you. So, where is it? Ah, there we go. So, at the British Council, we just got this new toy. And so it's for observing things. So what you can do, you video a class, and if you see the buttons down the side, I made these buttons for the classroom management thing. And so you watch the video and you press the buttons. And so it divides the video up into sections based on what they did. So there we go. So this is one that I did. It's from Croatia. So we have attention getting. So if I click on the attention getting bit,
Mhm.
Guys, I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you. We haven't finished because.
okay, let me get that. Where was one we had quite a bit of? Oh yes, using names.
You have 3 sentences. Let's hear them. Larissa, will you read them so to know what to discuss, please? Here we are. You might. Foreign languages. Which one have you chosen? The first one. Okay, Elena is going to tell us why she. No, but it's the third one. Okay. Why? So you think it's best maybe. So what maybe? So what are we doing now, Christina? Listening to what? Ways, and tell me which method would be best in your case and why. I'll give you 2 or 3 minutes. Which one have you chosen? The first one.
Okay. So the idea is that you can look at a video of somebody's class, and divide it up on whatever you want. The real idea, originally their idea was you can have this on your iPad or your tablet, and you can film a class, and while you're watching it, you can press the buttons as you're going along. Or you could video yourself and analyze your own class. Or you could get a video of somebody else's class and analyze it. So this is the kind of thing which is very useful for classroom management, to sort of get feedback on your own class, or to sort of analyze somebody else's lesson. So I don't know, would you guys be able to film your own class, or is that quite difficult to do at your schools?
Well, here in Spain, it's because of not political, legal reasons.
Right.
You can't film people under 18 years old. So.
Right.
Here, you need a special permission for their parents.
Right.
Also to take pictures. When we are starting the year, yes, we sent homes permission that says, I agree with the fact that my kid is videotaped or taking pictures, and they sign, yes, because if you show a picture or video of your son and maybe the parents don't agree, you can have problems, legal problems.
That can be a big problem. And yet, if we do it with the British Council, if in this group, if we do this, I would have to send you a British Council form, and then you'd have to sign that as well to say that you have permission from the student. Because of course, the British Council takes it all very seriously as well.
Well, I think that it's like a global policy.
Yes,
Yeah.
hopefully. Although in Thailand, at a normal school, most people have no idea about this stuff. So when we have Thai people working at the British Council, we had to explain to them that they couldn't take pictures of the kids and put them on Facebook, because they wanted to do that. And of course, it's very sad to explain why. But
Yes.
so if it would be difficult for you guys to film your classes, then the other thing we could do is you could analyze this video or another video, and then we could compare and see if we came up with the same thing or not.
But is it an app or something? This?
It's an app and it's a web page. So if you have an iPhone or an iPad, you can download it and use it on the iPhone or the iPad, or you can use this web page here. And so I would put you in my group. We have a classroom management group. So I'd add you guys to the group, and then you could edit videos online in this web page.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking that maybe I could film myself at the private institutes, but we are starting classes the second week of March. So it's going to be a bit. We have to make it longer, of course, so I can share the video.
I know you guys can. We'll have to see. But I think you guys would be able to stay in the group after the end of the course, so you'd still be able to share the videos with each other. But the course wouldn't be going on by then.
Yes.
Right. Well, maybe the first thing is if you guys looked at this video. So I'll add you to the group, and then you'll get the email, and then you can look at this video and have a go at editing and putting tags on this one. Does that sound sort of useful and fun and interesting?
Challenging, yes. I say that I like technology, but I feel like a dinosaur. Yes, because I have to start playing with it and getting in touch with it.
It was actually pretty easy. So you press the play button, and you have the tags down the side, and then you just click on them as you're going along. I was hoping to show you how I did it, but when I click on the video now, it just comes up with this. So, and it jumps back a bit. So if you hear the teacher use a name, and then you click on the name button, it records the bit where she uses the name.
It appears like a tag, says using names.
Yeah.
You say small talk.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Talk. Okay. No, I think it would be interesting.
Yeah. So I made these tags, and then I watched it, and while the video was going along, I would click on the tags. Were there any other ones down there? So there were lots of using names, CCQs, the concept checking questions.
Do you understand what a self-study method means? What is?
Which is, of course, not really a good concept checking question. You say, do you understand what it means? That's a yes/no answer. It's not a good question. But
no, because concept checking you have to get information from students.
Yeah, if they say yes or no, you still don't know if they understood what it means. I think she gets them to stay in Croatian.
A self-study method.
There's a video in the course where there's a teacher explaining rules, and it says, okay, what you need to do? Throw the die, perfect. And what happens if you land on this? You have to go backwards.
Right.
So she asks, and the kids complete the rule.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are good concept checking questions. At one point in the video, she asked them to say it in their L1, and when they get it right, and that's a good concept checking question. If you're speaking English and they answer you in L1, that means they understand, and you can be 100% sure they've got it. And it's like,
well, that happens, especially when they have low levels, that they can understand you, but they don't have the vocabulary. So it's what you have to do. Tenemos que leer and they answer in L1. Yes,
right.
okay. It's not what I expected, but it's hard because they understood the task.
Yeah. And for some things, it's fine. For vocabulary and things like that. But you just don't want them speaking too much L1.
Yes, that's the difficult thing.
Okay then. Right. Well, cool. Well, I'll add you guys to the group, and you can have a play with it and see how easy or difficult it is. Oh yes. So how do we go to my profile? There we go. And so then if you click on a video, that's the problem. Yeah, so normally you click on a video and then in the corner it says tag this video, and that's when you get started on doing the tagging. But because I've already tagged this video, it doesn't show up like that. I'll either have to add a new video or take the tags off for this one. Let's see.
You can add any video.
Right.
For example, if you want to practice now before we film ourselves, we can look on YouTube one and upload it and practice.
Yeah, because it's much less scary than doing yourself. So I would have done a video of me, honest, but I don't teach any face-to-face classes at the moment. So.
Yeah, I would feel myself. I don't know if I would be that sure of showing it to others. Yes. That's something that makes like a freaky.
Yeah.
Seeing yourself and that others can see you, it's like, I don't know.
Always a bit scary. I don't really say, okay, that often, do I? Oh my God.
Yeah, no, I always have fun when for example, last year, for like a end of the year gift, we made a video for students. And it was really funny seeing myself making all the gestures that I always do. And I said, that's why kids, when they are mocking me, make all these things with their hands, because I do that. So it's like, okay, it's strange seeing you.
Right. We made an advert for the British Council, and I was teaching a class, and I was waving my arms around like, I don't do that.
Yes, it's not me. It's not me. Or when I open my eyes, they say that when I get angry, I open my eyes wide open. Said, yes, your eyes. I don't exaggerate. And once I see it, my students said, yeah, they're right. They're right. I do that.
Oh dear. Right, I'm going to have to edit this recording before I send it to everybody now.
Yes,
All right. Well, thanks very much, guys. Do you have any questions or anything before we go?
Should I send the the assignment through the email, or I can
I know
upload it to
you should
the.
still be able to upload it. So
Okay.
I'll send you the Word document, and then
Okay.
if you fill it in and upload it, and if there's any problem with uploading it, then send it to me and I'll
Okay. Right. Well, I don't think
Yeah.
it's
I
going to be
will
a problem.
finish the
Uploading.
assignment tonight.
all right then. Cool.
Yes.
Me too.
Late for you. Yes.
I
Because
look forward to it.
I'll try.
All right,
Yeah.
great. And then tomorrow we'll start Unit 2. It'll be very exciting.
Yes.
yes.
All right then, cool. I look forward to reading you on there. All right. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
See you.